high volume, preferably in a residential area.
GameWorn Radio is on the air.
Hey! Chilton scores! Popping the Cordova, baby! We're going bowling. Now, let's go hunt moose on a Harley. The fires, he scores! LA face with an Oakland booty. Make me a bicycle. They score! Bowmeister paid that man his money.
GameWorn Radio.
Hey everybody, it's there, GameWorn Radio, part of GameWorn.us, and I'm here with a lot of the regular crew, and Jason looking all fancy and shit, doing shit from outside. Come on, man.
It's a beautiful night, and notice how, yes, I am smoking a cigar, but what am I not doing? I am not wearing a GameWorn jersey at the time.
That's true.
That's good.
You don't bite it just for the look?
Hell no, I enjoy my cigar. Brought him back from the Tampa area. That's why I missed last show, so I figured I'd enjoy them now.
Hell yeah. Oh, you notice behind me I've got some nice, high-quality Syracuse jerseys.
What?
Yeah, I got a couple good ones in from the team, so we're working on those. That way we can get a little bit more inventory, but got some cool shit. Dude, you should have seen this one that we sold, Alamo. We got a photo match to the guy who was fighting, grabbing the back of the jersey, and pretty much ripping the number off the back. So it's got this gnarly repair. It's super awesome.
Pretty cool.
I'll send a picture sometime.
Definitely a fun photo match that way.
And I'm going to get another shameless plug out of the way here. The grab bag from the classic stuff and game, or hockey jerseys, GameWorn.us. Yes. That grab bag is live right now, limited spots, $1.99, and it's draft style. So once those sell out, then they'll do the thing. I get to do all the cards and stuff, so that's a lot of fun. So make sure everybody checks that out. Anyway, the topic today, at least the one that I have on our docket, is talking about how you guys protect your stuff. Open it up, I protect mine with a gun.
Full body condoms on every jersey.
You really? I've seen people put every jersey in like the garment bags.
Yeah, I've seen that too. I've seen that too. You better really, if you're going to do that, you better really hope that there's no moisture inside that bag, because
exactly,
it's going to mold and it's going to get gross. You couldn't do that.
And your humidity level better be in check in your house.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Yeah,
I mean, realistically though, I insure mine. My homeowner's insurance handles it pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's. We might have talked about this on another podcast, but I think that's a part of it. I think is certainly making sure that, as far as homeowners insurance goes, you can get remuneration for a loss. But I think, to me, the biggest thing is just even if they cut me a check for every jersey I got hanging in the house, like, that's one thing, and that's great, and I appreciate it. Looks not out the money, but there's no replacing any of them.
No.
That's
it's hard to put a value on getting something close to that.
Well, yeah. I mean, especially if you have like a one-of-a-kind collection, or you have a bunch of a single-player jerseys like mine. Like, if my shit went up in flames, like, if anybody else like that player ever wanted a chance to get that's a lot of shit gone, man. Like, can you imagine, like,
it is.
Heaven forbid, like, Sean's place going up? Like, damn.
Well, when they had the fires going on last year, and it was. You saw the bags he filled up in the photos. I mean, that's history at risk right there.
Oh yeah, I mean, unfortunately had to plan like what shit he was gonna take.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, it would be akin to the Hockey Hall of Fame, right? Imagine a fire at the Hockey Hall of Fame, and really, that's anybody who has a decent mix of shit.
Yeah.
Especially like landmark jerseys, like player's first hat trick jersey. Like, losing that would really suck. You know, a Stanley Cup Finals jersey, cup lift of a player who that's the only cup that they've won or something like that. That would be awful.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those scenarios where if you start thinking about it, like I try not to think about it too much because if I do, my mind just keeps running and I'm like, oh shit, my house is gonna burn down tonight. Like because I just keep thinking about all the things that are at risk. And again, like it's one thing, like there's insurance there and that's great, but just like I even think about not just even what's in each jersey in terms of memories and what each one means, but I think about all the work that so often goes into finding these things. All the time you spend looking for something.
Mm-hmm.
Or photo matching it. Can you imagine having the photo match to the jersey, but the jersey is gone now?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, this is not a passive type of hobby, and so the idea of losing all that work as well is just it's brutal.
I know guys that.
And even with the
oh, go ahead, man.
I say even with the current players where my grade may have 6 or 8 more of that particular player, it's not the same jersey. Your may have been the very first one the player wore, or he did something special, or you've something specific about that jersey is why you got it. Even replacing it with the same season, the whole bit, it's just not the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not the same as 90s baseball cards where you can just go buy another one.
For the Sharks collectors, last year being the only time the Sharks made it in the Stanley Cup Finals, losing any amount of those jerseys.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of one-off opportunities, and there's a lot of history that people don't really get that's wrapped up into each individual one. Like something happened most likely in these jerseys. Sometimes maybe not so much, like the guy that wore it for 3 minutes because he was there, but still that. If it was 3 minutes, the only 3 minutes of his NHL career,
right?
For that specific player, that is an epic loss. Especially if you ever wanted it back, But that's what a lot of guys say that we are. We're purveyors of history.
Yep.
So you got to protect yourself accordingly.
Sure, I even did when I went down to Florida before I left, because you guys know I have a man cave type setup. I put a webcam in there on the internet so I could access it from my phone, at least just check in on things.
A nanny cam?
Yeah,
pretty much, yeah.
You know what we're all thinking, Jason. At this point, we know what you did with that camera footage.
It's just a man cave. Trust me, there ain't that much going on in there.
Hey man, it's almost like you're.
I saw it for sale for $5.95.
A little bit of daddy duty on your jerseys in it. I'm on daddy duty right now.
Yeah, so you monitor your infant. I monitor my jerseys from 1,200 miles away.
There you go.
Ready to strike.
I know guys.
But it's just handy to do that kind of stuff. And I mean, I know people that have alarms and humidity controls and everything else. I mean, some run it like a museum.
Yeah. I got guys that have safes. Like they'll put their higher end ones in fireproof safes, which I think is pretty smart. But the bad part about that is when you want to show it off, you have to proactively go to show it off. That's the hardest part I have with my stuff is like mine just sits on a rack, right? But I know where my rack is, and it's well protected. I don't think I'd have a problem with a fire, but I also don't have a lot of jerseys. Like I could come down here, swoop these up, and get out of my house here real quick in the event of a fire. I've timed myself. I'm like, is this possible?
You have training sessions?
Fuck yeah, dude.
That's awesome. I'm
your
jealous.
wife grabs the kids, and then you run downstairs with couple hockey bags, dump them in, and go.
It's all about your priorities, man. So the first thing is to get the wife and the kid outside. Once they're outside, I'm running back in this bitch, and I'm grabbing my rack of jerseys. I'm just swooping it up, right?
Yep.
So then I'm going to come back down. I'm going to grab the mannequin. I'm going to throw that sumbitch up the stairs, right? I'm going to come back down. I'm going to get my computer equipment. I'm going to get that shit outside. And then maybe I'll think about some hockey sticks or something.
As someone who's fought fires, good luck with that timeline. You'll probably get the jerseys out, and that'll be about it.
Hey,
but
man,
it'll look cool if you come out with that mannequin. Everybody will think you saved somebody's life.
I will walk through fire. I've done it before. My hair melted. It melted, and I had to comb it out for a few hours, and I looked ridiculous, like I had a white boy afro. But I walked through fire. I'd do it again.
I don't even want to know.
I was drunk.
I don't want to know.
Of course you were.
Oh, of course you were, yeah.
It was like a 50-foot bonfire. But I practice for this shit, man.
I'm sure that's the same as a house fire. That's got to be the same as a house fire, right?
It's damn close, man. Give credit where credit is due. Do it.
I have in my head like worked out how I would do it. I know where the closest window is to the closet's where I keep the jerseys, and my plan is just to bust out the window and dump everything out the window, at least to get it out of the house, and then I'll worry about that the rest of it later.
Shit, I might need to like rethink my strategy here and move all my shit upstairs somehow. Just get it close to a window.
Yeah.
Get some bitch out and just start chucking shit. Choo, choo, choo.
Yeah, that's the quickest way. Then I'll be the last thing. I'll just jump out the window, and then everything's safe.
I'll have to find it. I found online there's a like a slide that you can get from like the airplanes. You ever see it where they have the emergency slide? Wouldn't that be badass if your jerseys are on the second floor? Just throw them out there and they're sliding down like luggage claims.
Yeah. I live in Florida. Nobody has a basement and nobody has a second floor.
And nobody has heat.
That's true, too.
I couldn't live there, man. I wouldn't have that rink in my basement.
Yeah.
Yes, you could. Oh, you wouldn't have a basement. I just say living room.
Yeah.
Just put down synthetic ice in your living room. It looks like a tile floor. It just so happens you can skate on it.
Bam Margera, that shit. You see that episode? He put synthetic ice throughout the entire house.
No, but that sounds awesome.
I'll have to link you to it sometime.
That's
It's fucking
funny.
hilarious.
We know Bobby's next plan then for his house.
I'm going to have the opposite of an Asian shoe rule. You walk in the house, the first thing you do is put on skates.
You know what? That could be fun.
I'm in.
I'm having people over this weekend for my kid's birthday, and all we're gonna do is be skating down here. It's a shame you guys live so far away.
Damn, that sounds sick.
That would be. I'm probably the closest one. Well, I don't know. How close is Dan?
I'm Norfolk. I'm
Oh, I'm the closest one then.
Yep.
I'm 10 hours from Derek, probably.
I'm probably like 6.
Yeah, I'm about 7.
But yeah,
I'm a lot, I don't know.
Fires. What else is there? Flood. Well, Bobby ain't got to
What?
worry about flood. I mean, I got to worry about
I'm
flood,
on-
but I got
my
like a
crew's off the
sump
second
and a
floor.
backup, and dude, I'm backed up on backups, and I got a backup of the backup of the backup. Ain't no water coming down here.
I think other than fire, I think flood is my biggest concern because if a hurricane comes through, we have these signs near our neighborhood that like show you in a category 5 the storm surge will be at this level, and it's like above the roof of my house. Like
Oh no
that would not
shit.
be good. Yeah, that would not be good.
That would be
I
awful.
could see Bobby. I could see Bobby outside like John Cusack and Say Anything with the boombox playing "Rock Me Like a Hurricane" by the Scorpions.
But Bobby, at least with that though, you get some warning and you can pack your shit and get the hell out. It's not like here where I got about 3 minutes when a tornado siren goes off, and my shit ends up 3 counties over.
I legitimately, in 2004, for one of the hurricanes that came through, I actually did that. I didn't have as many jerseys as I have now, but I took a big tarp and I wrapped all my jerseys up in the tarp and put it in the back of my car as I was leaving, and they were there protected, and I didn't have to worry about them while I was gone.
All right, here's a serious question though. Do you fear for your jerseys if somebody were to break into your house? Just some random person that doesn't know you have jerseys. Do you think they would see them and realize what they are and take them, or are you just worried about your other shit, televisions and whatnot?
They'd have to come up. Mine aren't in plain sight, though.
Yeah, mine are. You can get to them, but I feel like you'd have to really love the Carolina Hurricanes to really get into like digging into what's in there. So I think I'm okay.
It would have to
I
be
don't-
an inside job, I think, for all of us. It would have to be somebody we knew.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't.
No random person's going to come in here. It's not like the Migrate fiasco that happened where they knew in advance what they were going to get. It would
Right.
it'd have to be. Well, I shouldn't say it would be like the Migrate thing because they would know what it was and they would have a plan. But I bet all of us aren't really that concerned about somebody breaking in.
Well, because if it's somebody who doesn't know what they're looking at a bunch of jerseys that are not clean, that are all marked up. They're not, for the most part, autographed. Like, if you don't really know what you're looking at, it looks like dirty laundry. So,
Yeah.
I guess it
And I don't
depends on
have-
like where you live and what you collect too, because
That's true.
obviously Dan is closer to Pittsburgh, and one of the knucklehead ruffians out that way could, I've heard of. I'm not saying he has a Mario Lemieux, but hey, you've heard of the name, or you go to Sean's house,
Gotta go to
Chalks.
Casey's house for me. You.
Casey's, yeah.
No,
We should
I
play- we
want
should
somebody
play
to
out
break
there.
in because I'm a firm believer in the Second Amendment. I'm gonna use that shit. I'll put them down real quick.
I just
Yeah,
if I have to shoot them, I want them to move away from my jerseys. Just
Yeah.
for jerseys.
Yeah, that's not the blood staining you want on.
That's right.
Other than
Sir,
the guys
why'd you
that
show him
collect
13
guys,
times? Well, that's all the
I
bullets
don't
I
have a
had.
name that they would know.
We actually had somebody try to break in while my wife was downstairs, and she grabbed the Mossberg shotgun and double pumped that. And guess what? They disappeared.
Funny how that seems to work.
It's a great deterrent.
And
Game
see,
one
I'm the
jerseys
same
and
way.
Second Amendment.
I'm the same way with not worrying about theft. I'm in a town of less than 2,000 people in the middle of central Illinois. All the local collectors, I'm all friends with. And I guess the other nice thing is, too, is as all of us get our jerseys, we photograph the shit out of them. We photograph the set stamps. We photograph everything that's identifiable in those jerseys. So if they were to get stolen and then they show up on Craigslist or eBay or wherever, you have a shit ton of proof, because again, they're not going to have the certificates if your jerseys have them, which most do. So while it's a hassle, you at least have everything to say, that's my jersey, go arrest that bastard.
Fuck
Who's that guy going in your house behind you? Is that Pete Giannakis?
He's got about a 2.5-hour drive.
Shit.
Well, it looks like he's there already.
Got him.
I don't have any Blackhawks, so Pete won't be interested.
Right.
No, totally legitimate. But say the worst does happen. Do you guys carry insurance on your shit?
I'm same as you, Derek.
Homeowners?
Yeah, that's what I did too.
I
carry homeowners, and you can't replace the actual jersey. I guess like Bobby said, they'd cut me a check, and I'd be like, okay, I guess start over now.
Yeah,
But-
pretty much. Do they make
Is
you
it
itemize
different?
everything?
No, but my insurance guy, I've got, I like Jason just said, I got photos of them and everything like that, because we all photo match them, we share them, and I just got to pull up my computer and say, these are all mine,
Yeah. Yeah,
Is it
my
different
guys...
for all of us in each state? I mean, because insurance is different in every state, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So I had to itemize mine, and then I kind of felt like it was like an auction house. They want a third party to quote, appraise them and make sure that, you're not trying to... I'm like, well, wouldn't you want me to put them at a higher value so my premium's higher?
Yeah, what state do you live in, Matt?
Pennsylvania.
So in most states, in most places, you can buy as much insurance on anything you want.
Right.
Like they will gladly take your money for a policy. You can insure your dick for $1,000 if you want to.
Hell yeah.
Bobby, it's done.
Sign me up.
Done.
Done. You can insure anything. So all they really care about is they want to know how much is the value that you want insured, and then they're going to work up how much you need to pay them in order to maintain that policy.
Yeah, and I was just at my insurance guy today, and they said how they did it, and I'm like, yeah, that would probably cover everything. When you're quickly going through your head, well, I got what you have to buy, and that's total loss. If you had a fire that your house burnt to the ground, could you replace everything? All
right. Here's a question: if you had a total loss, let's say you lost your whole collection, and you got paid out, would you start over?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd start over. I'm that crazy.
You know what? It's fun. It would be kind of fun to start over, and yet, nobody wants to, but wouldn't it be fun again? Because you have all that knowledge that you didn't have the first time around. You're not buying like Nathan Gerby, number 14 Carolina Hurricanes jersey. I'm only saying that because of Bobby. He didn't get it at first.
At first, I was like, that's really specific. I got one hanging right back there.
But you know what I'm saying? You're not buying that guy that you're fresh into the hobby. I don't want to name a player because I feel like I'm knocking that player. But you're not buying that guy that you may not want, but it's cool at the moment to get it. So you have that advantage. So that would be kind of fun. But at the same token, think of all the loss you have, and that would.
For me, the emotional loss would be a little bit too much because there's a lot of work that goes behind it, and like I have the most jerseys out there of a specific player. Now, the plus side is I would get my fucking money back. I ain't gonna get my money back any other way, let's be real. I mean, nobody's gonna pay fucking $1,500 for a single Glendenning jersey. Come on. So that's the only
when I hit the lottery, I'll offer you that.
Well,
you know what?
I'll
Maybe we
I'm
gotta
ready to sell.
Derek, maybe we ought to put that on one of the GameWorn pages, put that out as a poll. If you lost everything of fire, would you start over collecting again? Because my thought is everybody answers yes. I think there's very few people that say no to that question.
Well, even
I don't
if you
know.
do,
I don't
you
know if
might
I'd
even
say
go down
yes.
a different road. Like for me, if
Agreed.
I got a mad payout for all my shit in one lump sum, Iserman's, boom.
Yeah, go buy the big jersey that you thought you would never own.
Yep. Because
Oh.
to get those, I'd have to sell all my shit, or at least a lot of my shit, and I
Right.
ain't gonna get the money back that I put into a bunch of my shit. So that gives me my reimbursement for all my shit that I have that I won't be able to sell or can't sell for a reasonable price because nobody's buying it. And then I can go get that hammer because a lot of the
Well,
stuff, you accrue over time, right? So you get a little jersey, you get a little jersey, you get a little jersey, and it adds up. You lose it all at one time. That's a big, huge lump sum payout that you didn't have when you started. And then you can go and get that big nasty.
God, I don't know. I
Would you go back and buy a bunch of little shit? I mean,
no. What I'm saying is, I don't know if I would buy anything. I feel like I put so much time, effort, energy into this, and now I love the personal side. I love doing this podcast. I love hanging out with you guys at expos. I love all the interaction, but I don't know, man. I've been working on this since 1999, and so it's just crazy. That's it'll be 18 years in December.
Bobby, you would be back.
You think
It's
so?
like a drug. It's like a drug. I mean,
dude,
every
first
time
thing
you see a
would do,
jersey,
you call up Tampa Bay like, give me half your shit.
Yeah, probably.
you'd be on the phone with Johnny Manziel. Give me your jersey, man. You can go gamble the rest.
I suddenly have no more storage problems.
I have a question. I think I don't know if Dan's married, but I think all the rest of us are.
Yep.
What would our wives say? Would they say, "Oh no, you're not investing back in that shit"? My wife is kind of like an odd hobby. She's into woodworking, which totally out trumps my man card. And she's like the girl from like Trading Spaces or whatever that would be like all about like doing woodworking projects and whatnot in freaking heels and in a freaking garage. But I think my wife would be like, you could buy some jerseys, but I need some of that money.
Here's
No.
a more important question. Is she as hot as Bobby's wife is, according to the internet?
God.
I've never seen Bobby's wife.
You didn't catch that
I'm
episode?
teasing you. Bobby's wife is similar to my wife, but not the same at all.
Very nondescript.
That's a classic
Yeah.
description right there.
Bobby and I have had the conversations about that.
About wife swapping?
Am I right? No.
Nope.
That's a whole different podcast. That's on after 11.
I only share with Ohio guys.
I really don't think that. I think if I tried not collecting, if that happened and I tried not doing it anymore, I think my wife would have been like, "Why aren't you doing this? I think you should probably get back into it."
Something's broken inside of you. Let's fix it.
Yeah, right. Well, just because it's such a regular thing, like, a couple times a week. Sometimes there's a box at the door or a box going out the door, and that would be an interesting change. To not
Yeah, I
have
mean, I've collected like my entire life. So to say, "Oh, I'm not going to collect," I just can't see that happening.
And my wife's the same way. I mean, we've only been married a little over 2 years now. So, but when we started dating and stuff, I mean, she knew from day one, and of course she's big hockey anyway, but knew what I was into and all that. And like I told you before, our first date, she bought me a GameWorn jersey. So she would definitely encourage me to get back into it, if that payout was separate from everything else. As long as we got all the money to rebuild the house and get everything else back in it,
Yeah,
there wouldn't be any issue there.
I don't think so either. I
fuck.
think take care of the park.
I would lose my rink.
That's what you just thought of now?
Yeah.
You didn't put any work into that, did you?
Fuck you. I refinished
kidding
this
you.
whole basement with
I'm
the
teasing,
specific
brother.
idea to put that son of a bitch in. I think that would be my biggest gripe. Fuck the jerseys, dude. All this labor I put in down here. Ugh.
Yeah, I'd still go with jerseys over the rink any day. Rink, you can always rebuild.
Oh,
Yeah, when they
took
rebuild
jerseys,
the
you
house,
can't
Now,
replace.
I kind of side with Derek on this one because I saw him putting that in, and then people were like giving him a hard time about how he had to shimmy the one board in, and they were because you don't understand, you weren't there, and I was like, yeah, I can sympathize with you, brother. I've been there with like flooring and stuff.
But then if you rebuild, you can relay out the house and lay out the basement, and have that installed before you ever actually have to put the rest of the walls and shit together.
I would hope this entire bitch goes up in flames because I would get a bigger basemented house without more obstructions to put a fucking bigger one in.
You'd have a full-size scoreboard in there and everything.
How tall is your ceiling? 13? 12?
9 feet.
Oh, it's only 9.
I mean, I can't do a full-on slap shot or nothing, but I can definitely bring it back pretty good.
Yeah, we've seen that video. It sucked.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
My leg kick is sweet.
Uncle Rico.
Something like that.
You gotta have style, man.
So I guess, I mean, so everybody, we've kind of determined everybody protects theirs a little bit different ways, or say a lot of us just have them hanging on racks and hope the hell there's not a fire.
Yeah,
Pretty much, yeah.
I think the bigger thing, all of those things can happen. I think the bigger thing that is more kind of a prevalent thing that can happen to anybody anytime is just making sure that you're like being aware and smart about the way you store your jerseys, not because of an imminent fire, but more so like we were saying before, like mold or other issues. Because especially if you're going to have these things for a long time, you just got to make sure that you're keeping an eye on them so that over time stuff like that doesn't creep in. Because once that happens, you can get a lot of stuff ruined.
UV can be a real motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good one too. Absolutely.
Stay away from windows.
Another thing,
people putting them on screens and shit. Stay away from windows.
People put them in those Ziploc bags too and fold them. I think that's a bad idea. It's just similar to the garment bag, number one. Yep. And you're breeding bacteria in there because your temperature in your house fluctuates no matter how climate controlled you are. And again, that plastic, it leaches out. It has to.
You gotta have something that breathes. I mean, I put a gun of mine in a fireproof safe, and it rusted in there. Mm-hmm. So, what do you think's happening to your jerseys?
In all my closets that I keep jerseys in, I go to Publix and just get one of those like moisture buckets, and I just replace those every month or so. And they capture a lot of the moisture that's in the air, and they just fill up with water, and then you can dump them out. And that
I have not seen this.
Yeah, it kind of helps with the moisture problem. I mean, I've never had an issue with it, knock on wood.
Well, you live in Florida. I mean, the moisture problem in your areas, the humidity is just fucking insane there. Like, I don't have here up in the northwest. Northwest, is that what we're considered?
Northeast, my brother. We got to work on that with you.
Midwest.
North.
Yeah,
Midwest.
Yeah, you're still in the Midwest. You're almost to the northeast.
But we don't have to worry about the humidity as much. Like, I just have a dehumidifier in the basement to keep the basement, a little bit drier.
I would beg to differ about that. In Pennsylvania, we have huge humidity problems in the summertime.
For real?
Yeah. I mean, the whole south central Pennsylvania, all of July and August is hazy, hot, and humid with a chance of PM showers. Every day it seems like that's the same weather pattern.
We're rocking 40%, between like 20 and 40% on average. Which I don't think
but if you're running
manageable.
If you're running your air all summer too, that's changing a little bit compared to if you got your windows open all the time.
That's true.
I mean, you've got what the temperature and the humidity is outside, but if you're running your air all summer long and everything, so you're at least maintaining 72, 74 in the basement, mid to upper 60s, and 35, 40% humidity max.
Yeah.
I am the only person amongst us that does not have air conditioning.
Jesus Christ.
That's what he said.
Save the jerseys. They must be temperature controlled.
Now let me ask you this, because I don't do it that way, because I just got them hung on racks, but I've seen people use those.
Use those.
It takes up, especially if you have a lot of jerseys.
Say that one more time.
Yeah.
Sorry, I must have cut out. What about the vacuum sealed bags, like the ones you actually hook up to your vacuum?
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that for two reasons. One is I don't know what kind of marks it's going to leave in the jersey long term, and two, they might remove ambient air, like extra air space, but they're not removing all of the air, and there's no HEPA filter on the air that's in there. I wouldn't trust it.
Yeah, I don't do it, but I've seen guys that do, so I was curious to see what
you could
guys
get a
thought of.
wrinkle. Imagine getting a wrinkle over a patch, and I know we've all seen it on something like whether you've owned like a replica or something that got folded. You cannot get that wrinkle out.
I'll
We'd
vacuum
never do
seal
that.
for a very limited amount of time for transport only.
Yep, exactly.
But I'm getting them out as soon as I can. I don't even like my jerseys folded because you're creasing and putting weight on patches and numbers depending on how you fold it, and nameplates and just things. Like, I don't even like putting them on regular hangers. I've always been trying to figure out a different way to hang stuff because I want the patches to have a little bit more
Support.
shape.
Yep.
So that's why I won't put them in a frame. I refuse to put a jersey in a frame until I can get something that'll make it retain shape.
There's like a mannequin that you can buy out there. It's like a slim fit mannequin that it works really well. I'm trying to think of the shop. I think it's called Harbor Freight sells it.
I love Harbor Freight.
And it maintains your the shape of like a bust. But it's very compact. I'll try to find out what it is and how much it costs, but I don't think it's more than $30 each. But then again, if you got 40 jerseys at $30 each, you can do the math there.
No. Somebody said you poor bastard, but I have no idea what it's in reference to.
Poor bastard.
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably you.
Oh, with no AC, yeah.
I think locking them away is a road that you long term you don't want to go down. If you got them in a closet, you can open the closet door. You can, like Derek's got his on a rack. You can get them out. You can look at them and get the air moving around them so you don't get moldy. And
they're meant to be worn. I mean, not that we want to wear them around all the day and everything, but they're meant to be hung up. I mean, if you look at these jerseys, look what they've been through, some of them, and you got repairs over repairs. There's no need. I mean, what are you protecting them from? I can understand if you have dogs or cats or, heaven forbid, some kind of fungus in the air or whatnot, but just leave them on the racks. You're not hurting anything.
Nope.
Yep. I think that's fair.
I think if you frame it and put it in plastic bags, then what's the purpose of having it?
Yeah, see, I agree with that. I think that's my biggest thing is if I have something that I've got to keep in a safe the whole time, I'm not particularly interested in collecting it, because it is nice to be able to go through. I mean, I like having people over and being like, hey, check this out. This is, whatever. This is Ron Francis's jersey or whomever's, and being able to like hold it and say, hey, you want to hold it? You can see it. You can look at it up close. And if it's first of all, I can't think of much more douchey. How could you make hockey more douchey than to come to your house and say, let me show you my jerseys, and then like be like, hang on, I have to open this safe. That's a douchey move. Like that's no good.
Don't look at the combination. You might steal.
A retina scan, a fingerprint scan, you talk to it, and then it finally unlocks.
Yeah, no, I'm not in for that.
I've heard rumors that Larry Pelliccioni has quite the setup for like not like a safe per se, but kind of like a nice little like walk-in closet. I've never seen it, but I've heard it is quite the setup.
I've seen photos a long time ago. It looks pretty sweet. And by the way, that's not to... I'm sure there's guys that have jerseys in safes that are worth a hell of a lot more than mine are, but I don't have anything that I need to put in a safe. That's not necessary.
If I had an Iserman, I might consider it at that point, and I'd really do some research to think about how to properly store it.
Yeah.
And I probably wouldn't leave it out just because, but aside
what
from
level
that,
do you consider?
I don't have anything else.
What level, Derek, would you consider something, quote, safe-worthy or that extra level of protection? And going back to our insurance thing, how often should we update these? Like every year? I mean, is it like per jersey basis? Like if you get like a $2,500 jersey pop up and you got to have it and you get it, do you call your insurance person up or do you wait till the end of the year? I'm just curious.
I update mine as I need to. I just bop
Yeah,
an email.
you could do it. You can do it whenever you want. It's going to impact your premium. So I mean, they're happy to take your money anytime.
Agreed. I was just curious what you guys do.
I just keep a spreadsheet, and I mean, because most of the ones I'm picking up aren't huge, because I think I have a blanket of so much value it covers, and I know I've not hit that yet. So even with everything I have, I just have a spreadsheet, and I can put in what I paid for it or what the value is, and then some of the information about the jersey plus the pictures online. But then if I hit my cap, then I can go to my insurance agent and say, yeah, I need to bump it by 10 grand or whatever.
Sure.
All mine are categorized and photographed, so
I have mine that way for my own records because it's a great way to keep track.
Until you look at the bottom line and you're like, I spent that much money over this amount of time. Fuck my life.
Is anybody in here? I don't want to say it. Over the 100,000 mark?
No, fuck no.
Not even close.
I think I looked the other day, and I think I have something like 20 grand in Glendenning jerseys. I cried a little bit. I fucking
again?
I'm at 98.
Damn.
I don't know. I've never added up because I've got all mine, what I bought them for, and what I sold them for. So I don't know.
I just keep my receipts. All that's from receipts. Because I buy all of mine from Hockeytown Authentics. Really?
I keep mine in my spreadsheet. I track everything. So I track how much did I spend. I also try and put in an indifferent time after I've had it for a little bit. I'll go in and try and put in an estimated value so that if in the moment someone asks me if I'll sell something, I'll go back in and like not in the heat of the moment bump it up or something and just be like, hey, I said 350. Here you go. It's 350. And then I keep track of everything I've sold and what I bought it for, what I sold it for, and all that.
So you're in your sheets all the time. You're the king of the spreadsheets.
I try to keep track of who I sold it from and who I bought it from as well.
I do that too. That's really helpful.
And the date that you get it is helpful.
Ooh, I need to add the date.
I haven't gone that far, but
Dude,
if I sell a
you
jersey
guys.
to somebody,
All this
I like
organizational shit.
Well, I like
think about it.
I hate this hobby is all about like who you know and relationships, and I hate it when I'm talking to somebody and they're like, "Yeah, you know me. You sold me such and such jersey." I'm like, "Oh, I completely forgot. I that's happened to me too many times." I'm like, "I'll keep track of who I sold."
I expanded my spreadsheet, Derek, when you were talking about doing a inventory on the webpage.
I'm still working on it. It's just
To
it's a long time coming.
for a
It's a big process.
whatever you're going to call it, an ownership process, so we would know who owned the jersey. So I've done the best I could when I get a jersey to say who owned this before you or we're not, and then who I sold it to. So I can at least say, well, I sold it to this person.
No, we'll get there eventually.
That's why I started it.
So you have a track record. So if something goes missing and then it shows up again, you can at least see, like, the lineage. Lineage is very important, I think, at least in the hobby.
Sure.
Yeah.
I've had people reach out to me when they found the picture of a jersey I had some time ago saying, hey, do you have this? And if I can go back and dig up either through Facebook messages, whatever, said, I don't, but this is who got it. Feel free to reach out to them. It's always nice. I mean, I don't always remember it, or remember to document it, but when I can, I attempt to.
Mm-hmm.
The best is when you have us.
I think it's just part of the process when a jersey comes in or a jersey goes out.
I agree.
Yep.
And I just try to make it happen.
The only thing I wait on is when I put a value on it, like what I would sell it for, because I wait to kind of like calm down from the excitement of having something new. I'll give it a couple of weeks and I'll be like, okay. And then I'll do a little bit of research, find out what they've sold for before, and then just put a number in case I'm ever asked later if I'll sell something.
That is the hardest thing that I have right now is when somebody's like, hey, what do you want for something? Like,
yeah, this makes it...
You know what I want? I want something more than you would want to pay. Let's talk real stuff.
Sadly, that is 90% of the problem.
Like, I would be fine with selling shit, but it's like, for me, a lot of my stuff that I keep is just, it's all personal value shit. It's like, I'll sell it to you, but you will not like my price. And I'll tell you that straight up to your face.
Oh, I think that's how it goes. Everything has a price to everyone. It just so happens the only time you ever make a sale is when those two lines intersect. Otherwise, your idea of what something's worth, it could be completely different than a prospective buyer, and you won't make a deal.
That's true.
I think I'm going to get rid of the whole. Anytime I sell something or have something for offer, get rid of the make an offer thing, because I find too often than not, I only do it because I would rather trade. And you know what? It's getting harder and harder, despite having the diverse collecting passion that I have, to find someone that wants to trade. And these people come and it's like sharks in water. Like,
yeah,
what's the best you can do? Can you throw in free shipping? Can you throw in like the box?
I'm all for putting offers there to start a discussion, but the tire kickers that are out there right now just fucking piss me off, man.
It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time to put.
Dude, I put a GameWorn jersey, not a high end. I don't have high end shit, and the dude offered me went to do a best offer of $56.
Yeah. Holy crap!
Now, did you have to include shipping on that?
No, it was on there. No, I didn't have to include shipping. It was $56. I said, please make a serious offer. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, dude, the tire kickers just come on.
I guess that brings up kind of a secondary topic, and we talked a little bit before the show about it, but a separate thing, and I'm seeing a lot with the blues market right now, is the market flooded. Because holy shit, the blues prices are in the toilet for everything.
Well, Fanatics got a hold of them. They have 4 fucking sets a year, and then Fanatics runs their bullshit to try and set prices where they list it for auction. Every time it doesn't sell, they list it like 3 times, and on the 3rd time, they drop the price just a little bit. Because they're trying to milk that shit. So that's killing your market.
I know the last auction group of ones they had on NHL auctions, the only one that sold out of that was a Fabry, and that was $500. And I think they originally marketed those for like $1,200 or $1,400.
Well, people are looking at this shit and they're seeing that nothing is selling. They're seeing a historical non-selling point. So they're saying nobody wants this shit. So when nobody wants this shit, it becomes cheaper. Like, you have to lower your prices in order to sell it. So not only do you have them going through a shit ton of sets per year, but you're also setting the precedent that none of this shit sells. So when I'm looking at your blues stuff, I'm like, nobody's buying blues right now. Why would I pay you what you want? Because nobody's buying it if you look at this other historical data.
And even the older stuff, like I was shocked the other day, a friend of mine put I think it's an 06, 07 Barrett Jackman out there, has the A, decent wear, the whole bit, $475. I mean, that I thought was super cheap. I mean, seeing Shattenkirk for $6, seeing some of these guys that even 2 seasons ago were pushing $1,000, and now you can pick them up next to nothing. I mean, as a matter of fact, talking about jersey deliveries, I got one today, a set 2 David Perron white. It's got the 2 patches. The arms are just shredded and repaired, and compared to what they originally marketed it for, I think I got it for at least under half that. But it was from it wasn't from Fanatics. It was from a secondary seller.
Yeah, Fanatics is just destroying your market.
And then the other part that I brought up before we started the show is, what are your thoughts on game issued pricing?
I think it depends. So I think you have to kind of look at it not dissimilarly from game worn jerseys in terms of era. So I sold, and this was a couple of years ago, but I sold a game issued Dino Ciccarelli Tampa jersey. It was one of the Storm alternates.
Yeah, I saw that. Didn't it have a green shamrock on it or something?
Yeah, it had an A as well. I sold it for $1,200. It was game issued.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
But that was a super rare jersey too, correct?
It was, and at the time, it wasn't like I was struggling to sell it. It was I had to talk to like 3 or 4 people and then close the deal because people wanted it. So I think the reason I bring that up is because the game issued topic is they vary wildly, and I think you start to merge or start to move not so much within the game worn collecting hobby, but more so with like the folks that collect authentics, because that's a whole different crowd. Like they look at patches on jerseys and different things, and those authentic prices start to get up there pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
They do.
And maybe that's. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I say, and I'm just using an example today, and I'm not bashing the person that sent me the message, but I've had a Manchester Monarchs game issued jersey, and it's AHL, so you know it's going to run a little bit lower.
Mhm.
But I think I've had it sitting out there for $100, which I think is pretty fair because fuck, most authentic jerseys are more money than that.
Well, it costs the
But-
team
Brand new,
$250 to
they're-
put a jersey together.
But I got and like I said, the guy was very nice, and he was trying to pick up a couple of them, and offered me $60, and I nicely turned it down. I wasn't rude or anything, but it's like, Jesus Christ, for $60, you used to not be able to buy. Well, you still can't buy replicas for that.
That's right. Did it have a name and number on it?
Yep, it's a full lettered. I mean, it's got the sponsored patch on it, the whole 9
Yeah,
yards.
the replicas are like $129. The ones from if you go to NHL Shop or whatever. The basic
I got to tell you, if you're dealing with ECHL or higher, there should just be a rule. There's no haggling a jersey price after lower if it's already at $100. Like, enough's enough. I don't care if it's game issued, game worn, whatever. $100 is a steal for absolutely anything.
Well, people need to start working with some fucking percentages. Like, nobody's gonna come down half their asking price. For
Yeah.
fuck's sake, dude. Like, at most 20%, and even that is an insult. Of course,
Yeah.
obviously that's gonna depend on the realistic asking price. Like, we're talking a realistic asking price.
Yeah.
But most of us that have been in the hobby, kind of understand fair market value, or kind of know where things should sit. It's a lot of, maybe it's some people just still learning the hobby, or just trying to pick up jerseys uber cheap. And I've made some hellacious deals on lower end stuff like that. But yeah, even the game issued jerseys seem. I mean, I've picked up some in the 150 range, and I'm comfortable with that. But I'm going after one. I've already worked the deal. I was going to pay for it, but a little higher end one. But it's a rare one with a rare patch on it. So I'm comfortable paying more because the player's retired. It has a special patch on it, all that kind of stuff. But it just, those seem to vary so wildly too. But I'm just trying to understand kind of a basement for those.
It's so interesting game issue because of how many factors that can involve the price. I'm happy picking up $100 game issue from a team. Like, that's walk around money. That's put it on my back and wear it, be happy, be at the game.
Yeah.
Yep.
But then I have some of the other ones that I have are game issued, but I wouldn't necessarily do that. Like, I've got a game issued Centennial Classic. It's a little bit more special. You know, there's not going to be as many of that type of jersey out there. You know, specific players with patches or prepared for a specific use. Game issued finals games.
Right here.
Yeah,
Mine's game issued.
exactly. The types of patches that go on it. The player even, like a Paul Coffey game issued. Fuck.
Yeah, I think it comes down to player, team, Stanley Cup, Centennial Classic. Sometimes you got to factor them, but if you're talking, I think what Jason was getting to, just a game issued jersey of a player, ECHL or above, you know, $100, $150, you're still getting a steal.
$100.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, if you really don't
Actually-
like it, just rip the nameplate
Yeah.
off, change the number. You can get it
Right.
customized
If
for
you go up
25
there-
$50, and you got
Yeah.
yourself a, you know, if you
I
get it
think
done
when it
by the
goes up
team, I
special
guess you
people-
could reclassify it as a re-team issued to, you know, whatever.
So
I mean,
based
go
off-
look.
If you're
Go
trying
ahead.
to go under $100, if you're trying to go under $100, dude, you're just gonna piss people off, you know.
I agree. That's what I'm saying. If you're going after a jersey, I don't care if it's, as long as it's ECHL or above, and it is game issued or game worn, doesn't matter. You should never offer less than $100.
No.
Like,
$100 is a
I
good deal
think-
for any jersey. I mean,
It is a good deal for any jersey.
think about it. It costs, when the team buys a team issued jersey, it costs between $225 and $250.
If you've ever played in a
unnumbered.
tournament and needed to buy jerseys, or just for your own hockey team, good luck finding them that cheap.
Dude, I've got like 15 game team issued Syracuse Scunch jerseys we're trying to sell.
Mhm.
No bites at $100. and they're fucking team issued, still sealed in the package from the manufacturer. Like,
Well, they're
a
not-
normal person can't actually get this shit.
Unfortunately, because it's minor league, the fan base, the interest base, just is really small.
I would venture to say most people wouldn't even be interested in that type of shit for NHL teams.
Yeah, true.
But it's even going to be a more interesting thing with the Adidas stuff coming out now.
Well, yeah,
It'll be
the
very
NHL
interesting to
teams
see what happens with all of that. I think
The
game
NHL
issues
teams
for
are rock.
Adidas jerseys for the first year will be high.
yeah.
Everything for Adidas for the first year will be high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why right
When
now
I was at
they're
the My Gray Expo. Go ahead, Dan.
I said that's why right now, if you keep an eye out with the teams, they're dumping the Reebok stuff because they can't use it next year. Once the season starts, they can't wear it. So you can find game issue jerseys cheap. You can find GameWorn jerseys cheap. You know,
Well, they're dumping
They gotta
even
go-
their authentics, man. Even the
Oh, yes,
even
they
the
are.
authentics, dude. They're just unloading, which is I think also killing the game issue market.
yeah.
I will
Well, it's
say
also hurt-
that won't last. Like if you've got an opportunity and you're interested in the team that you collect is doing that shit, take advantage right now. It never lasts. Go stock up.
Yeah, because it'll swing out. The Adidas jerseys will come out, and people will look for deals, and you'll have something that people then you'll be able to trade or sell down the road. You know, because like you said, I think Adidas jerseys are going to be the first year are going to be nuts.
The only saving grace for Adidas, and I'm not really sure why, but I think it's awesome, is look at the retail price they've put on the Authentics. I've never seen authentic jerseys this reasonable. You can get one, and they haven't even issued them to the team yet. You can order one right now with a name and a number for any team, and I think what's the price? Like $200, $220?
They're different than the on ice though, from what I've read.
I don't think that they are. I went to the Tampa Bay Sports has them, and they have mannequins dressed in them at the over at the International Mall. And the jerseys are like they have the fight straps in them. They are spit and image of everything I've seen from a concept perspective of what these Adidas jerseys are going to be.
Where I read at one point in time that they would have replicas, they would have authentics, and then they would have their on ice versions, and there was a distinct difference between the on ice and the authentics. And something somewhere said, and this was a while ago, it could have just been hogwash, but I'll have to do some research on it. But I could have swore it said something like, the authentic will be as close as you can get to the on ice version, but it's not. So there's differences in it or something.
I wonder how different they'll be, because if you buy a retail authentic of Reebok now, they're not identical. They don't have the double reinforced fight strap in the back. They don't have, or they do have the retail tag in the neck versus the on ice jerseys not having it. So I wonder if
the elbows aren't reinforced too and stuff.
Yeah, so I wonder if it's that level of
That could be.
Now, and I expect a lot of teams to do the dump after training camp, because a lot of teams, because the Blues, when they did their sale, there wasn't near the amount of jerseys I expected to be for the upcoming dump. So, and I need to confirm this with a few people, but my guess is because training camp still isn't regular season, they can still use those older ones with just the Velcro names and numbers, and then once training camp's over and all that closes, then you'll see all that shit show up in the shop or online or somewhere.
The Stockton Heat, they bought a bunch of the Calgary Flames team issue jerseys without name and number, and they're going to number and name them for the players on the Stockton Heat, and then have like a Calgary Flames night in the Flames jerseys.
Oh, that's cool.
That's
So
a neat
they'll
way
have-
to do it. Cheap for them, and
Yeah, they got
They
a
already have the
nice.
inventory. Just got to
they got a good deal. They bought a bunch of them. They're gonna use them for like a special event or two. So they bought them blank, which the teams have them lying around. So maybe other teams will do the same thing. Maybe you'll see some of our lower level teams like the AHL and ECHL maybe have some special nights that you get something different. But
That's a great idea.
Yeah. I think Adidas is going to be crazy, especially for some of the teams. I think Vegas is going to be nuts.
I think Vegas is going to be. I listened to the episode with Barry, and he was pretty non-committal around pricing, and I certainly understand why. I think Vegas is going to be. They're going to be at a premium.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
What would you guess what do you think Marc-Andre Fleury's jersey is going to be?
$6,000.
Joe Tolman sold his for $3,000 plus, depending on what it was.
Mm-hmm.
His playoffs and Stanley Cup jerseys were, $4,500, $5,000. So I'm betting Vegas will start at $3,000 and go up.
See, I was
It's a great team. $5,000.
Right. No, Derek, I was actually thinking higher than that. I was thinking between 5 and 10.
Yeah, I mean, I would put my money between that numbers.
Vegas
after all.
They're only doing a white two sets, a home and away.
They said that, but he also left room for special nights. He was not very committal about that.
Well, yeah, Vegas has got some special nights too. So yeah, but most teams are going to be home and away, 2 sets.
And you got to remember all the inaugural jerseys
they'll
too.
do a casino night.
Yeah, the one-game wonders. Yeah, there'll be more Vegas this year than all.
The casino night.
Side note: are any of you guys planning any trips to get out there to see your team?
No, not this year.
I'm going to be in Vegas in September, but I'm going for a wedding. I don't think there's going to be a lot of hockey time.
Fuck you! Why don't you go in October?
Not to Vegas.
There's a chance that I'll be there in October. I'm
more Chicago in October.
Fuck you. I'll let you guys know when I'll be out there. Y'all should roll out. We'll do hood rat shit.
We should just make a hood rat trip.
I'm down with that. I was just piggybacking off of work. I'm trying to, get them to send me out there.
I know there's a couple blues trips, 20, 30 some people I've seen have booked to go out, but flights right now are for at least the games that the Blues are in are pretty damn pricey.
For real?
Some people are waiting closer to see if the flight prices drop.
I bet flying out of your area during that time, people are booking those flights, So people are, if you're not an early planner, they're seeing the trend and they're raising prices on those tickets.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember the fans are most likely coming from the same area as other fans. So it's the fans driving the prices up because the fans are planning it around the schedule.
Wait, are you arguing that NHL fans are driving up the price of airfare?
Yes.
I don't know if I buy that. I don't know if there are. What's that noise?
It's a train.
Sorry, it's a train. You forget I'm outside.
Well, you think about it like this. The airline's prices are based on availability of seats, X amount of time out. So as more seats get eaten up early on, the prices go up for the remaining seats on the flight. So
to be sure.
when the schedule comes out, say I'm a Detroit fan and I want to go see my Detroit team in Vegas. I'm probably living near Detroit. So where am I flying out of? Detroit. So what do? The schedule comes out. I book my Detroit to Las Vegas flight, and that's a seat off of that plane. Now there's less, and it's, 3, 4, 5 months in advance? And then you have a series of people doing that. They see the trend, the prices go up.
It happens like that with migrate prices, too. I'm not knocking migrate for it, but you rewind a couple years ago, they had Adam Henrique was a no-name with the Devils, and his prices were $4.95 because nobody wanted him, nobody knew about him, and then all of a sudden he started doing pretty good, and people started buying, and his price goes up because demand goes up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, damn the man.
All right, gentlemen. Well, that sounds like a good time to cut our show. That was a pretty good one. We'll figure out. Dan's working on some special guest shit in it.
Yeah, keep working, man. Keep working.
I think we got a few things in the hopper that'll be coming this way.
That would be cool. Anything fun, new, and interesting would be a good thing.
I'd like to see if we can get Dustin Slade on this show from Yellowknife. He's a lot of fun and might have some unique stories of collecting in the Great North.
Everybody's welcome on the show. Just hit me up and we'll get them on. I was trying to talk to one of the guys that I don't know if I got into it with him or he got into it with me. We had a disagreement, but we have resolved it and we've been talking quite a bit lately. He's listening to the show because he's on daddy duty. I was trying to get him on, but yeah, I mean, it remains the same. Anybody who wants to be on can be on. Just hit me up. Let me know you want to be on. We'll get you going. All right, boys. We'll see you in a couple weeks. We'll figure out what the topic's going to be in the meantime. Hopefully, Dan can pull through with a really cool special guest. We'll call it. Once that lands, we'll let people know.
Yeah. Let's wait till we get a confirmation.
Caitlyn Jenner.
There you go. That's who Dan texts frequently.
Yeah.
I bet.
All right, guys, take it easy.
Alrighty.
I'm going to see you.
Dude looks like a lady.